You're listening to the Precision Shooting Podcast, discussing all aspects of precision and long-range rifle shooting. This episode is brought to you by Impact Dynamics. And now, over to your hosts.
Well, hello and welcome to the Precision Shooting Podcast. This is episode number 139. And joining me this evening, my name's Rusty, by the way. Then we're joining, I don't remember when I say that anymore. It's been too long. Andy, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good. Andy Little, ladies and gentlemen. Andy Little.
Yeah.
He's waving at the camera. It's not quite that. I mean, hello Patreons. Patrons are watching us on the screen, but that's about it. I'm sorry.
They better be.
Yeah, yeah, they are. Well,
they're paying for it. Come on.
Well, they're not at the moment. Patreon is free for the remainder of July and may kick back in August. But also joining us, far more exciting
Person.
Yeah. Out of the three of us, Travie Harris.
G'day guys, how are you all? How are you, Rusty?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Oh, very well, mate. Very well. Life's good.
Fantastic. So this will officially be the most boring podcast we've ever done, by the way, because 2/3 of the room are off the booze.
I'm doing dry July. Rum and dry.
Yeah, it's dry.
Rum and dry July. Yeah, perfect. You're on dry July, Travie.
You betcha.
Yeah, are you doing the fundraising deal or something, or are you just kicking it?
No, just kicking it. It's
Just
not
kicking
fun
it.
by any stretch.
I said fundraising, but not fundraising.
Fun.
Yeah, okay.
Just
thought
something
you'd do
different for a little while. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I'm still on my I don't know what to call it, personal exile of alcohol for the period of time that's unknown. I could scare everyone and say
You're after the Holy Grail.
I'm not going to drink until PRS comes back, but I'm not sure I'm going that far.
A real man in protest.
Once you start organising PRS again, that's when
It's probably a requirement. Yeah, for sure. Excellent. Well, we're back here. We're back. We're missing Bronte. Bronte had a big project on tonight, so away we went. And Dutchie, I'm not even sure Dutchie exists anymore, to be honest. COVID might have got him. Although maybe he's just gone up in life, because I tried to call him back today. He called me, and I tried to call him back. And after it rained for a little while, I got Dutchie's messaging service. and there was some lady on the phone. I'm like, yeah, okay, never mind. I don't like him enough to leave a message. And she's like, oh, so no message? I'm like, yeah, no message. But far out, he's flash. So I think he's becoming the new Badco, because he's just got someone sitting answering his phone for him.
So it was a live. It wasn't a recording.
No, it was a person.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
she was all surprised I didn't want to leave a message.
Or have you thought maybe the feud between Bronte and Dutchie?
Yeah,
We'll leave that one there for the conspiracy theorists.
Possibly, but more the point that I think he might be cashed up now. He's paying someone to answer phones for him.
Gee, that's the
Let's
life.
go with that one.
That's the
Let's
life,
go with that.
isn't it? Yeah.
Things have changed. He was always just borrowing cash to be able to drive home from here. I mean, things have, and no wonder he's avoiding us.
No, yeah.
He doesn't want to pay all his debts back. All right. Anyway, carry on. Back to more important things. What has been happening, gentlemen? You shot. We alluded to it last time, Andy. I'm going to get this wrong. The Practical Rimfire Challenge. Is
That's
that
the
right?
one.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. The PRC.
Yep. Travis
Fantastic.
and I both shot that.
Yep. And well, tell us all about it. It was a night shoot.
Yep.
The first,
So, Travie, give us a quick little overview of what PRC is. We've had them on the show, actually, a number of years ago. We had the boys there. But anyway, give us a quick overview of what it is.
So PRC is basically a rimfire shooting sport. Pretty much, I would sort of deem it a hybrid between IPSC and practical shooting, or precision shooting as it's now known. But yeah, basically sort of PRS style or precision shooting style stages, and mixed with IPSC Comstock style stages as well. So yeah, a bit of a hybrid to test the shooter and sort of make you think a little bit more than normal. So
Okay.
Yeah, definitely a fair bit of movement that we're not really used to in the PRS side of things, but
From a speed point of view, isn't it?
yes, speed, and forwards movement in some of the stages.
Yeah.
But also the targets are quite close as well. So you're ranging from 5 to 65 metres, I think it was. So
yeah, correct. So yeah, and that's where the IPSC aspect comes in, really, those close stages. And I really do like, as Andy said, the moving forward down the range is really cool. We don't get to do that with centerfire rifles ever, I don't think.
We do. We've done it before in Darwin. The only problem is that when you do it, only one person can be going down range, and you can't do that at a big match. We can do it at Monado. Actually, we should definitely do it one day when it's a bit quieter out there.
Game on.
Yeah,
Game on.
Cool.
Game on. So if no one rocks up and we've got a match on, let's do it.
So from the firing line, you must run 450 metres and shoot that goal at 500 metre mark.
What was that favourite stage with everyone from the invitational shoot? You got to run your gong out to the 500 metre one. Let's do that
favourite
one. Everyone will
stage.
love that one.
Jeez.
Mark II. Oh, excellent. Good way to crush everyone's dreams. So how did you boys go? It was a night shoot, something a bit different.
Yeah, it's good. The rabbits sat still this time, so they were easy to hit. No, it was quite nice to. Well, I don't know about everyone else, but I just went to actually go and hang out with all the shooters again because it's been quite a long time. So, and it was just kind of good that it was a night shoot, a bit of a novelty to really kick the series off again this year. So,
Yeah, I think a lot of people were definitely pumped to get back out amongst people and slinging lead and just getting back into it. So I think Travis did pretty well. Myself, I think was like mid-pack. There was one stage that I completely bombed, got 0. But you got to push it be in it to win it.
Was it like a KOL stage? Is that
Yeah.
why? Okay. Oh, that's better than just being a normal stage where you're like, you didn't hit a thing
Yeah,
at all.
that that red stop plate, you hit that last.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's red means stop, mate. Red
it.
usually means stop. Okay. Very good. You want to give us a rundown of any of your favourite stage each? Let's go with that. Let's go with favourite stage each. Otherwise, we'll spend another entire episode talking. And we've got the Stage Show podcast to do that.
go for it, Andy.
Yeah. Well, I think one of the ones that's probably a lot different to PRS, it was the first stage we did, stage 1, which was had a lot of forward movement. It was a Comstock. What do you say? Yep. And that had 22 targets in total. So there were 3 mag changes, or 2 and a couple of single feeds.
Yep.
So that was really fun. A bit fast paced, and then
Nice.
I enjoyed that one.
There's actually, I'll cut in on that as well. There's a good variety in that stage too, because you had you started that stage off seated at a target rack of 6 targets. So you had to do that and then get up and sort of plan your shots out there from moving. So you had to really think about where you wanted your mag changes and where the targets were. It was really good, that one.
Yeah, and that first rack was at about 40 metres or something like that. So if you were running a red dot, it might be a bit tricky.
Yep.
And then everything else was pretty close.
Yeah, nice. Fantastic. What about you, Travie? Favourite stage at all?
Yeah, no, I'm going to go with the second stage for the day for us was a spotlighting stage. So the whole range was completely black.
Yep.
You had your shooter. You could pick someone to hold a spotlight for you. And they had a series of small steel targets cut out with, they would have been sort of 30 or 40 mil targets inside them. You had to, the spotlighter would shine the light on them, and you'd have to shoot those targets and communicate between each other to know which target you were going to next. And they ranged out, I think there was 15 targets from, again, about 20 metres out to, I think it was about 60 or 70 metres, because it went quite a way up the back. And that was really cool.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I do like the large amount of targets involved in those matches. It's excellent.
And it's different, especially working your way out with the rimfire. I think it caught a couple of people out where, if they're really close, you still got to hold over, and then you starting to hold under, and then you hold on, and it's like just knowing where you're holding. It's
Now that's a very good point you call out there, because again, I was standing there watching. I think I was timing for a lot of that stage, and you see a lot of people hitting low on those stages because they're holding under, but you got to hold over to account for that being so close. It's a good trap for young players, that one.
Yeah, that's it. Yep,
Fantastic. And one of the unique things about the practical rimfire challenge, which a number of matches here in South Australia that run as a bit of a series over the course of the year. Are they doing a series this year, or is it just the matches sort of standalone?
That's a very good question. I don't actually know the answer to that one. I know
I asked it then. Don't worry.
I know they are running another match
in October, I believe.
A 2-day match in October, which will be really, really cool to get over to. I think the plan for that one is to stretch the rimfires out to about 300 metres from memory.
Yeah, nice.
That'll be really cool. As to whether that forms a series, I guess COVID aside, that's going to be anyone's guess. So
absolutely. And so the other big factor within this style is the scoring is a hybrid between PRS style, which is generally like a point or some allocation of points for every hit that you get, and Comstock, which is a different type of scoring with some numbers involved, as far as I know. It's got a much heavier weighting to timing, and so you've got to offset the balance of time versus hits versus misses cost you significantly, I believe. And you, in some instances, depending on the setup, you're better off to like hit once or twice and then stop it, because the speed with the time versus the impacts versus the potential for miss is very different. I'm not going to claim to have my head around it completely, and by the sounds of things, neither are you boys.
No.
Nope.
We just hit all the targets and then hit the stop one. But I do believe there was, I'm not sure if there was a penalty for missing a target, but I believe there was if you didn't try to engage one.
Yeah,
right.
I'm not sure. That's something, I guess, it's the whole preparedness for a match. And if I had sort of been keen on taking it a bit more seriously, I probably should have done some research in regards to how those work. But again, I was just there for a bit of fun, which was what it was all about. But I think it's certainly a complexity that you need to understand to be successful in those matches, because it does, it can have a bearing on the results, which is good. I think it's a good mixture to get everyone thinking, and it sort of trains you as a shooter to be
Different
adaptive,
way of
doesn't
doing
it?
Yeah.
I was talking to a couple of blokes afterwards, and they said, I'm not sure if you noticed, but from that first position where you're seated and shooting some of the targets, they would then turn and still seated, but shot some other targets that were further down the course.
Yep.
And talking to them afterwards, they were saying, well, by doing that, you cut out having to move to one of the windows. So,
cut
obviously,
out movement. Efficiency of movement is a massive thing when time is on the line.
So, lots of ways to go about things there.
Very, very good. Well, that was your not last weekend. That was weekend before for you lads, and you did go shooting on the weekend as well, which we'll delve into. But I went up to the range, and we had a whole bunch. Our first proper weekend out. And we had a whole bunch of crew come along, which was great. Whole stack of new shooters.
Nice.
Like, and people had never shot before, which was really good to see. So I had one guy, shout out to Mick, who said he'd been following podcasts and videos that we've been doing a little while ago, and then and he was keen to get back into shooting as of many years of not being around it, and then something life happens as it does, and he couldn't do it. But now he's sort of refocused. So he came out for the first time and had a shot, and was playing around with the 22s and bits and pieces, and it was good fun. I don't remember if we got him on 500. We got a bunch of guys on 500 for first time having a crack. So it was really encouraging, really good to see.
Yep.
And so I spent my weekend doing that, and then we also ran training. All the boring sort of club training, but you got to do it. You got to get everyone through the appropriate thing. And we ran like 25, 30 people through over the course of the weekend through the various training courses. So it was huge, absolutely huge. Actually, just something we'll mention. Keep an eye if you're in SA and definitely not if you're in Victoria, because you can't come here. But our club is going to be running some training courses through the remainder of the year, every month or two.
We've got about 3 hours to get to SA.
No, you don't.
Don't they close tonight?
Midnight tonight.
No, the borders are closed, mate. Borders have been closed for ages.
Oh.
Melbourne shuts down in about 3 hours completely.
Okay,
there you go.
Yeah, but anyway, that's the what were we talking about? Training courses. So
Yes.
if you are in SA, our club is going to be running some training courses. Some one day on data and barricade skills and all sorts of stuff. So follow that page.
I think next month we've got the State of Origin as well between SA and Victoria, don't we?
Yeah. Sometime within the next 6 weeks, I reckon we should probably run that match.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So harsh.
In by default.
No, we'll go out there and earn it.
Yeah, we're not going to take it for free.
No.
We'll just go. Fantastic. All right. Now that we're harsh, what else we got to tell everyone? Well, let's take a little break from talking about shooting and matches. This episode is sponsored by Scoped Out, and to let you guys know, there's a deal on there at the moment for some high score earmuffs. These electronic earmuffs. So these are. I'll be upfront and flat out. These are not amazing, but they're $39. So for $39, they're pretty darn impressive. They're not like the Emorth M31s that we've done promotions for before, around that $110 mark, but they're also not $110. So if you need a nice cheap, maybe second pair of electronic earmuffs for $39, hit up Scoped Out High Score. I don't know if there's a model number. Anyway,
they're probably really well suited to people who want to spectate, but not up right next to all the loud stuff.
It'd even be brilliant for if you're on your hunting trip or something where you're only firing one or two shots and you want just that little bit of protection, and it doesn't matter if they get knocked off in the bush. So,
mate, always good to have a spare pair as well. You know, you've got someone come along the range with you. Always be able to good throw them that, and electronics are always more ideal. So anyway, that's there's the plug. There's how we can keep these lights turned on. Although we got some new lights in the studio today.
It's not daytime.
It's not daytime. You're right. That's an Amazon special. We'll see if they're still working next episode. If we're lucky. All right, so gentlemen, you went out for a shoot on the weekend at a very different solo club than you have normally shot at. Thanks to the good people up at Loxton Rifle Club. Give us the rundown on what it was, why you went, how you did, and the solos you saw.
Well, there's definitely some nice artwork on the way out. SA Silo trail, I believe it is a trail.
There's a whole trail of silos.
I believe so.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't walk them, but I would definitely be driving.
Okay.
Anyway, so we went up to Loxton Rifle Club up there. They had their annual, prize meet?
Yeah, it's an annual F-class prize meet. First one for the year, I believe.
I reckon.
So, it sounds good anyway. We'll go with that because it sounds legit.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I guess it's probably more typically an F-class range where you've got one mound at the back that has your target array, and they were using steel targets or metal targets, and then you've got your multiple of mounds working back in yards, we found out. They were yards.
Did you find that the hard way?
Well, everyone we asked, we kept getting different answers.
It turns out after my first 10 rounds, I realised that there was no way I was hitting the target well enough for it to be 100 metres, so it must have been yards.
If in doubt, we just ended up pulling out our rangefinders and we'll get this sorted.
We'll get this covered. Yeah, right. So was it wasn't a straight F-class shoot, obviously, being on steel targets. It was a bit of a...
Yeah. It was their gong shoot, I think it was called.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm by no means an expert on F-class. I don't know whether they do a gong shoot as something they train with or what have you, or whether it was something special for us to go up there.
Okay.
I do know this was organised in advance by Paul, who sort of had been in touch with the Loxton Rifle Club and on behalf of our club, Practical Shooting SA, to try and get access to a few more ranges and somewhere we can stretch our legs out. So... that's basically where the idea started from, and then we sort of started adding a few guys on and decided to make a road trip out of it and go and try something different. So.
Yeah, nice. And so, because I was speaking with the guys up there about the shoot, because I got asked if I could make up, but being the first weekend back properly for our club, I decided to hang there because we knew we were going to have a few visitors, and they were talking about doing some sort of modified PRS sort of style sort of thing. Was there much of that?
Not probably heaps for the day that we shot, but there was definitely talk about what we could do in the future and how they could adapt, and with their restrictions, like what sort of stages they could run. So that was quite interesting, and obviously being the dynamic of that range where it's one lot of stationary targets at one set distance, and the shooters move back, then provides a different. What do you call it?
Yeah, different dynamic, different test of skills. Yeah, okay.
All aspects.
So, in that case, like what did you think of the concept? I mean, for those listening, often this type of range is called is called a gallery range in some states. I think in New South Wales determine it as that. There's all sorts of stuff, and it is as Andy explained, F class or big bore or there's multiple disciplines shot on it, but it is where you move back to get the distance, but all your targets are in the one location, which means that you are only ever shooting one distance at one time.
Yep.
And then obviously because the entire line moves back or forward, it is the same style of ranges that the service match rifles are shot, competitions are shot on as well. So certainly an interesting one. And then obviously you generally have more people shooting at one time. Yeah, but first up, how did you go? Did you do okay? Did you represent us well, or did you?
I think we might have turned a couple of heads. But
as in, what the hell are those boys doing? They're useless. Is that
those muzzle brakes?
I think that was definitely a head turner.
Definitely.
You gonna start with the 22?
Yeah, so the 22 was a 100 meter. No, it was 100 yards as well. So the 20.
That's why I lost it.
It was 100 yards. I think it was a 100 mil target. So so 10 centimeter target for those playing at home.
You reckon?
Yeah, it might have been. Well, it must have been. I reckon it was smaller than that because I missed it enough times. But no, it was shot from. Even the centerfire, both were shot from just using a bipod only, no rear bags or anything like that.
Okay.
Again, not a terribly compromising position for PRS shooters given what we're used to. But I think just the whole actually relying on the wind a bit more and just being at a different range sort of added that little bit of pressure. So I didn't do very well with the rimfire at all. Coming off the PRC success the week before, it was not a great result for me.
Okay.
But that's all right. You're not going to shoot well every time. And I can't explain why I didn't shoot well. It's a big enough target for me to hit every day of the week. I just couldn't hit it. So that easy.
Yeah, it was definitely a different format of what do they call them?
Shooting.
That's the one.
It's been a while, dude. It's been a while.
It has been. Words come to me now. So you're pretty much set up, and you've got a few shots for siders, and pretty much their rule was you've got five siders, but once you've hit the target, that's the end of your sighting in.
Okay, then you're on.
Yep. And then you go up in pairs, and I think you get a total of 2 strings of 5 shots, I believe, for the 22.
Yeah, you do that twice though. So it was 5 shots. Your partner shoots 5, you shoot 5, they shoot 5, and then you go back and do it again after.
Yep. So pretty well 20 rounds all up.
Yep.
Yeah, that was just a different style where you really had to, in those 5-shot strings that you get, really pay attention to the wind.
Yeah.
And just sort of dial it in and take your time, I think.
Okay.
But they did have a time restriction.
Yeah, because we were PRS shooters, they thought they would give us time restrictions, so they made it 60 seconds, I believe.
Yep. For 5 shots, which is
5 shots, which is enough. But the gongs were on a very long rope as well, so they did swing a lot, and then you had the added wind. So there were a lot of factors that come into play.
Yeah,
not an excuse.
Excuses for you.
Travie. My rimfire barrel got too hot, and
it must have been drifting all over the shop.
Exactly.
Yeah, your primers and your rimfire may have not been as consistent as you were hoping.
Too much of a cant as well. The ground wasn't very level. We've got them all, guys. Just hang around. How long have you got?
Good. So, okay. It's been a while since you shot last year. Yeah, all the things. All right, cool. I got it. So tell me what your thoughts are about running practical style. Imagine now, obviously, many of these ranges are limited in terms of many can't use steel, but that's something that they can achieve, given that they've only got one location for it to sit. And for those who some will not able to be shot in any other position than prone, or some. I know that some of the ranges have worked out that closer in they can shoot positional, but as they step back, it changes that pitch on the angle. That's not a thing. A pitch on the angle. No, changes the angle of pitching angle. There's some maths trajectory things that happen as the further you go. Yeah, exactly. All the trigs kick in, and that's obviously the title of the show. And that that is, as you get further out, you can only go prone. Is what I'm trying to say. That's the words that are coming out of my mouth.
That's it.
The how do we get there? So with those various limitations, and obviously you talked to some of the guys up there and what potentially you could do. Do you think you could ride an interesting match?
Yeah, I reckon you could do a very interesting match. I mean, the majority of it would be in a prone position, but there's still a lot you can do prone. There's, support sides to start with. I bet a lot of the guys up there would never have shot support side.
That's a really fair point.
Even just prone after my effort on the weekend, like just getting prone is hard enough.
Yeah, okay, good.
No, I think, well, even the fact that you can't move, it lends itself to potentially running a more physical style match as well. Like just getting the heart rate up.
Because the gun can stay there and you can get up.
You can get up and run around and do cartwheels or whatever you want.
Did you either of you guys shoot Darwin last year?
No.
Okay, because I know Butters ran the two 900 meters, 900 yards meters. I don't, now I'm having your issue. The two longest stages of the weekend were done on that style of range, gallery range. And so, again, you got to only be in that position. And I don't remember if it was a bench or prone. But, and then one of the matches I shot in the US with the crew at Colorado Springs, that was a belly and bench match. So everything was either prone or from a bench.
Yep.
Which you didn't specifically notice during it. So... Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So all those sort of things are certainly achievable. Yeah, well, if you had to come up with a stage for it, have you thought about what you would run? Travie, I know you would have.
No, I haven't actually.
Well, hurry up now.
Hurry up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Andy, get into it.
I was thinking something pretty similar. Well, it's not similar. Something pretty easy in terms of the rifle's down on the ground. You're standing upright, as you normally would.
I hope that's all in the match brief, stage brief.
Not standing horizontal, you're standing upright.
Standing correctly as you would normally, upright. Yeah, exactly. And probably put a diagram in there just for those people who are not quite sure.
July.
Rum and dry. Yeah.
Anyway, so standing up, you got 3 rounds in the mag, jump down, take 3 shots. You then have to get up, load three rounds, and jump down support side. Something along that sort of lines.
Yeah, I'm just thinking even something along the lines of one of the stages we had, I believe, at Little River last year, where you had to get down in 9 seconds, get your 3 rounds off, get back up, that sort of thing, like lends itself perfectly. So you can certainly compromise the prone position by adding a bit of movement.
Yep. Absolutely. I think one of the things that can be done when you are on that single stage target distance is by varying your target sizes.
Yep.
So you can't do, I've got a target 200 and 300 and 400 and 500 or whatever it may be. So having KOL racks and utilising KOL racks, not necessarily running KOL rules per se, but being able to run those racks as, like this target, then the middle one and then this one, or spreading those racks out a little bit further. So you've got multiple targets still.
Yep.
You guys have nailed all sorts of options, but I certainly think you could run a good one-day match on a range like that comfortably. Because as we were talking before, but you and like the service rifle guys do, you start at 300 yards, meters, whatever it is, and then you do. Everyone does 2 stages there, and then you all move back to do another couple of stages. And by the end of it, you're shooting 1,100 yards, which would be good fun. And you've had a full day. Or start there, and then the next day you start there and work your way back in.
Yeah.
If you're doing 2 days, so
you could do a lot.
There's plenty of options for a range like that. Really, it's you don't think about it initially, but the more I think about it now, there's so many options you could do for stages, paper stages. Plenty of target identification, all that sort of stuff. Yeah,
because I presume you'd be able to have people down in the ditch with paper.
With paper, not with steel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with paper you can. So you just lift the targets up and down like they do in service rifle.
Yeah, well, that's we're not breaking new ground here. This is
you heard it here first.
the service rifle guys run an excellent match and do so like that. Looking for other ways to be, if you have got the steel options and to be able to do some of those other options there.
The other thing I wouldn't mind too is with our normal matches. You can park relatively close to where we're shooting.
Yeah. You talked about this, yeah.
But, with the gallery-style ranges, we could say all the parking is at the furthest distance, whether that's a mile or 1,000 metres, whatever.
Yep.
And then you've got to carry everything you want for the day down
to 300.
300 meters.
Yep.
And the only time you can go back is
when you're back there.
Yeah, when you're back there.
Work your way back to 1,000. You start at 300. Yeah, that's quite cool.
Change it up a bit.
I like it. Yeah,
Run what you brung.
Pretty much. Yeah,
it's a good way. It's an easy way to enforce that fairly simply, isn't it? Mm.
And you have to shoot prone with all your backpack on as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's definitely a stage. Yeah.
Exactly.
Get down like. Yeah. That'd be good.
See dudes just emptying their backpack out. Yeah, I would expect that. Yeah, okay. Oh, very good. All right. Well, guys who are listening, we would love to hear from you for a stage. So if you like, how about we get crew to submit a stage. Send us a stage that you would run on a gallery range. So we're going to define that by one of the range out to say 1100. Let's do it for the Loxton guys. So you can only shoot prone. You can have whatever still targets you like, but they all have to be at the same distance, and which is at the back. Obviously, you only get to shoot one distance for your stage. Let's see what creativity's out there. Any other restrictions we need to consider?
Yeah, do we need to clarify whether we can shoot through an obstacle? Still prone, but have, say, slots or windows you need to move the rifle through. I'm not sure if...
Yep, we could do that.
So
he said we can't shoot from on top of the barricade. So,
okay, so you can okay. All right, so within those parameters, you can use something, but every shot has to be taken prone, anywhere between, say, 300 and 1100, and all the targets have to be one position. Fantastic. We will give away, I think we've got Projectile Warehouse hats coming. So cool. We'll give away one of those to the best answer. So flick us a photo or message, an idea, whatever. Just tell us, video, audio, doesn't matter what it is. Send it through on all the various things that you do these days. And Andy's TikTok, hit him up there. And him and the rest of the Chinese will be able to check it out. So it sounds like good fun.
TikTok, a little what?
You've got your own catchphrase on TikTok. Is that the deal now?
Yeah. Oh, I should do that. I'll film it and I'll put it up.
Okay. Later after the show.
I'll do that.
Oh, I love it. That's fantastic. Excellent. Any other challenges you see of running a match on a thing like that? Range is the word I'm looking for.
No, the wind flag at the end. So you definitely there's a wind flag at the end of the mound really there, so that has to be there.
Yeah.
So I guess everyone gets their wind calls.
Same as Monado.
Yeah, good point.
But only one flag doesn't help you. Yeah.
Would we have all the F-class flags up or take all them down? Leave them down, I reckon.
Sounds like more work to put them up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So
I would put them up and just pin them up in different directions to really mess with their heads.
Tie weights to the end of them.
That's right.
They're all different.
Yeah, okay. Using a fishing line to just bring them the wrong way so they're not helpful. Wow. Let's not let Andy run a match. No.
What?
TikTok nup. Right. Very, very good, gents. All right, now what else do we have to talk? You guys wanted to talk about beards, which I'm okay with because beards. But Andy, you're growing your beard out.
Yeah,
you're getting big.
Yeah, either that or I'm lazy.
The honesty comes out. Yeah, okay, very good.
Yeah. No, I thought I tried the long hair and that just really got pretty annoying. So now I'm going the other way.
Not
swing both ways.
Okay, we'll make sure that'll become a little snippet we can drop into the show whenever we need to. Cool. Fantastic. Make a reminder of that. Excellent. Okay, so you're growing a beard, and Travie's got some experience growing beards. He used to have an extremely long or a solid beard.
Yeah, it's coming back a little bit. It's getting there. It's getting a bit bushier, but you just got to make sure you cut it the right way.
What do you think the percentage of our audience have beards?
Ooh. How many female listeners do we have?
I can still have beards, mate.
Yeah, current days. Yeah, you have to have a beard. I think beard is the new COVID trend. Like, if you don't have a beard after COVID.
Did I hear that there was a scare where like people were saying that you have to shave your beards because the COVID could stay like in your beard?
Yeah, it's because of dust masks. They don't work with beards. So if you work in a profession where you're sort of at risk and you had to wear a mask, dust masks and respirators don't work with beards.
I can understand that a little bit more. So
Yeah.
Well, if it's long enough, you could like, my beard is my dusk mask.
There was that viral video on social media where the guy pulled his beard up and pegged it up to his cheek or something as a mask. That was pretty cool.
That's great.
oh, I like it. I like that.
Dedication to the cause.
I was just going to look up. I believe our female listenership is rather low. It is.
It is.
Yeah. Based on the current statistics, this only works off the listeners from Spotify.
So 100% of our Spotify listeners should have beards, is what we're saying.
I believe you're correct. I would say that at a guess, we were probably in the 80% region of listeners who have a beards. So
Or some decent stubble.
Or some decent stubble or something that, or like if they sneezed and held their nose, they'd probably pop a beard out pretty quick. Actually, if you want to try it now if you want to get your beard a bit longer. Just make yourself sneeze somehow and also grab your nose while doing it because the pressure's got to come out somewhere.
It'll either
It's
explode
usually through my ears when they start to
No,
pop.
but you've got headphones on, so it doesn't work that way. It can't alleviate the pressure. So it's got to come out your face.
Well, you got to make me sneeze somehow.
Well, that's a TikTok video later. All right. We'll make that happen. Well, I want to give a shout out. Speaking about beards, this is a unsponsored segment to the bearded chap. Now, did I talk about the bearded chap on the last show? I think
Briefly,
I
I
did.
think.
He's the guy making G96 beard oil soon, isn't he?
That's the one.
That's the one.
But there is some of the tobacco and vanilla beard oil, and I tell you what.
Wow.
I tell you what.
Nice.
This is why it's
That's
an unpaid
brilliant.
segment because that is. How's that for beard?
Oh, wow.
I've never been much for beard oil until I tried that, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
that's
this
happening.
Is, yeah. So look, the other reason I want to give him a proper shout out is because he turned out to be a real top bloke, and he's a shooter, and he just picked up a Lithgow 105. So
Nice.
yeah, good on him. But
You wait when he starts cleaning that Lithgow 105 with G96, he'll understand.
well, I'll tell you what, he might actually be cleaning it with beer, with tobacco vanilla beard oil. Because tell you what, if I wouldn't mind being shooting
brilliant.
next to him if he was running that on his gun.
Yeah, you'd be sitting right next to that muzzle brake. Delicious.
So I would highly recommend checking out the bearded chap. Bit of a good dude and supports the shooting side of things. Oh, it's limited. Well, it is a limited edition. There you go.
Hopefully I haven't run out. I'm
I've
ordering
got
some.
Bottle 1591 of 1986. That was the year he was born. That's why. That's why it'll make sense now. Anyway, I wasn't much of a beard oil person before this, and then got that and went, yeah, no, I can deal with that smell. That looks, which was really intriguing because most of the smells you get or something, they're just like lavender and potato or something like that.
Beer and...
No, beer, right? Like, they're just not. They're not. They're pretty boring or fruity flavors, and you're like, it's not really what I want to have on my beer. But tobacco and vanilla, you can deal with that. You can deal with that. So we've turned into a beard podcast.
Beard oil's
Well, we did just identify scientifically that 80% of our audience have beards, so we thought it might be relevant to
So
them.
we're doing a public service.
That's exactly right.
At what point is it worrying where we're all sitting here going,
At no point is it worrying that we're all sitting here smelling our fingers and beards. Yeah, okay, you're right. It's gone south. It's gone poorly. It's gone poorly. Hey, tomorrow night, by the time this goes out, it would have been like a day or 2 or 3 days ago, or however, depending on how we get to actually recording, not recording this, to putting this out there. Gear Night would have kicked off my new live show, which is the ID Live thing that happened for 49 episodes. We enjoyed it, and given that we've got no PRS to go to, although this might have actually happened anyway, but we really enjoyed that format, and we wanted to talk about gear. So by the time this has gone out, probably Plushy would have been my first guest, and he the idea is really to chat weekly about gear, equipment, stuff that's coming out, stuff that is out, stuff that is that people have been using, have used, started with, not specifically limited to rifles or anything like that. We might talk handguns, or we might talk this or that, just whatever's interesting and relevant, but really that focus on gear. We've got one guy lined up for listeners of the show who go way back. You may remember at some point we tried out a piece of software called Reloading Studio. I don't know if anyone remembers this.
It rings a bell.
Yeah, that's might be all it rang. So interestingly enough, I had this old computer that I hadn't used for a couple of years, and I wanted to use it to dump a whole stack of VHS footage onto. So I thought I'd get it up and running, turned it on, and it booted up, and I wouldn't have touched this thing for a couple of years. And then on the desktop is this little icon called Reloading Studio. I'm like, I remember that.
What's it called? Download Windows 10 now.
No, Windows 95 going strong. Oh. And so I thought, I vaguely remember that. I should check into that and remind myself what it was about. Anyway, about 3 days later, I got a message on Facebook from Reloading Studio saying, "Hey, we're sort of kicked back into gear and love to chat." And wow, okay, there we go. So that is actually going to be, I think, Serge from Reloading Studio is going to come on the Gear Night show and do like a live Zoom demo of the program to show what it can do and all that sort of gear. So because he's like, let me do a Zoom call and I'll show you how to use it. I'm like, you know what? Let's do that, but do it live because then more than just me get to know how to use it.
Yep.
Someone who might be good at it could actually use it. So it's a program that's meant to utilize, you'd be able to store all your reloading data, all your results, all that sort of gear. And he's got a few things that he's working on that involve going to the range and some elements of that. Yep. So I think it'd be really interesting, particularly for the guys who are very detailed in their reloading, like to keep really good records, and to have that in a software database. Obviously, you can calculate what your rounds cost you and all those. I'm sure it can do way more than that, but it can keep your level maintenance and how many shots you put through since last clean or anything on those lines. So
that'd be handy, actually.
Yeah.
I do it all on paper currently, so I think that's something I'll be listening to.
I think it's about now this might be US dollars, but about $25 or something. So it's not like it's a ridiculously expensive, $47.95 per month you have to pay.
But that's probably worth it because, like yourself, I'm using the old notepad. Yep. And every time I open that notepad, which is probably once every 4 months.
Well, you're getting paid all through it. Yeah,
that. But, I just flick through some old stuff and I was like, I don't need that anymore. And I rip it out, throw it away, or I lose it. Or
see, that could be so much. You just press delete. And it's gone. It's gone. So how much simpler is that?
That's it.
No ripping, no throwing, no trees.
But it would be nice to, like, I don't know, I just tend to scribble all my stuff down on a piece of paper and it not really make any sense. But to have a piece of software that lays it all out, if you put the information in, I presume, good info out sort of stuff.
Yes, if it worked with your smartphone, assuming potentially there's changes on the way with that, that'd be brilliant. You've got your right hand, like your information at the range with you, that'd be good.
If it saves time on the range and ammo on the range, then you'll probably make your money back pretty quick.
Well, I think stay tuned for that on Gear Night. That'll be obviously that's not going to make a lot of sense on a podcast to listen to it, but we'll still release a podcast version. I hadn't thought that through, had I? Because we will do podcast versions of Gear Night out on the ID live stream. But anyway, good. All right, great. Anyway, we'll highly suggest people watch the video for that. I usually do a disclaimer, given that it is a video show predominantly, whereas this is a show where we are all about audio, and we have a couple of people from Patreon watching us. So thanks very much, guys, for getting involved. We did mention last year feels like last year, 2 weeks ago. Close, really close. About Patreon. Patreon is on hold. I did allude to it before as well, that our amazing Patreon supporters at the moment are all on hold. We will because we're ramping back up in production, we will be back onto Patreon in August. So if you do like what we do or what we're about to get started in doing and slowly coming back into it, there's all sorts of options. You can support this show. You can support Impact Dynamics in terms of videos. You can support the whole lot, and we will start kicking back into all of that next month. So if you're into that, that'll be fantastic. And thanks to the 29 patrons who supported us even when we weren't doing anything and weren't charging anything. So thanks for hanging around for that. That was good. Gents, anything else we need to go over?
When are we getting out next?
Well, probably about 10 minutes, I suspect. Oh, you mean shooting? Shooting. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well,
Amateurs.
There's a range day on Sunday.
This Sunday?
Yeah.
Oh,
actually,
is it?
I forgot.
There is now.
You guys had a terrible. You didn't hit a whole lot. I came off the back of the weekend, 100% hit rate.
Really?
Yep.
You'd have had you one shot fired.
Shot one
shot fire,
yeah,
500 meters.
Yeah, statistics don't lie.
That's exactly right. Yep. I think one of the new crew was struggling with the 500 meter shot, which totally fair enough, and purely just wanted to make sure because actually, shout out to Spur. This is now an unpaid promotion for Spur. I'm just excited, but I had my razor and it had been off my gun. I took it off my gun for one of the live streams actually to do some dry firing behind the new gun and put that on there. Anyway, did that. That was back in March. Put it back on to the gun on the line. Put the scope back on. Tightened it back up without a torque wrench. Dialed it in out of 500. And first shot I took was hit.
Yes,
So,
that's not bad.
that's pretty. I was pretty impressed with that. Highly impressed with that. Anyway, that's why I took a shot was to make sure the thing was working. And and then I think we just worked out where the wind was for him and got into his first time they'd shot maybe 10 rounds by that point.
Yeah, right.
And then they hit 4 times in a row. So they were stoked.
Yeah, that's pretty nice.
Stoked.
Yep.
So, but I had a better weekend than you always did. 100% hit rate. God, it's only way it works for me. When are you getting out next?
Well, I'm heading off this weekend.
Oh, hello. What do you got planned?
A little hunting trip. So
I get it. A little hunting trip. Nice. Good stuff. Well done.
it's just, oh God.
TikTok, what?
It just happens. I don't know.
It just happens. The magic of having the name you've got.
Yeah.
Anyway, where are you going hunting? Or what are you hunting? Or hunting things?
Mainly foxes, but then a few other pests that are around the place, and hopefully bring back some venison. If I don't think I can come home. That's what I've been told.
Harsh.
Oh.
Oh, it's not that harsh, but
Okay. So being kicked out of home is not that harsh. Okay. Fair enough.
I'll happily stay down there and keep shooting until I find venison. That's fine.
Yeah, right. Okay. And what do you use for your deer hunting rig? What have you got?
Well, I use my Attack A1.
Okay.
So the place that we go, we don't usually do a whole lot of stalking.
Okay. Yep.
It's
a deer farm.
It's a farm, isn't it?
no.
It's a pet shop.
The farmer down there, pretty much, he knows exactly where they're going to be, and he said, if you sunrise, go to this spot and sit there, you're bound to see one.
Gotcha.
So yeah, but other than that, we will be doing a fair bit of spotlighting for foxes and other little critters. So should be a fun weekend.
Yeah, nice. It'd be good to get. How close to the Victorian border is it? Just out of interest.
Oh, about a stone throw. No.
Well, make sure you throw some stones. Travie, you getting out anytime soon?
Yeah, I am actually. I'm going out fox shooting as well.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, just heading out this weekend to try and get some foxes. If not, we'll get some rabbits and put some meat in the freezer. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow.
Haven't been out spotlighting for months
Yeah,
and months
right.
now. So it'd be good.
All this.
I think it's going to be raining as well, which would be brilliant.
Yep, taking that dry as a bone, that's for sure.
Yeah, I bet. It certainly is. Good time of year for that sort of stuff. But yeah, I think we've all been missing it. And you guys, been a while since you've been out, Andy. Well, you went out not that long ago, didn't you? Went hunting not long ago.
No, I haven't been hunting for a pretty long time.
Okay.
I went to a mate's place, and that was just doing ammo dump. That was just to
gotcha.
get back into it. But yeah, it's going to be different pulling out all the wet weather gear and standing on the back of the ute, freezing with drizzling rain in your face, and I can't wait.
I can tell. You sound so pumped about it.
Yeah,
Because it's going to be a long trip if you don't get venison. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, nice. Fantastic. Good. Well, my plan. On to the next question. I don't have anything. I've got some editing.
You said you're going shooting Sunday?
No. Just said the range was open.
Oh, there you go.
That's all. That's
Don't
all.
want to ruin your 100% hit rate.
Yeah, no, that's it. I'm done for the year.
Yep.
I'm out. 2020 didn't miss.
Did I hear you getting brass soon?
Allegedly,
Oh.
but it's one of those things that I believe when I say it. Yeah,
Yep.
It'll be here eventually. It'll be here. So
Don't forget, I've got your brass prep station.
Oh, I've forgotten that.
Would that do a stint in quarantine here? Or quarantine or customs, whatever
Depends
they
if
call
it comes through Victoria or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did have my 6GT garage trimmer thingy, whatever the thing's called, trimmer adapter thing for 6GT arrive.
Nice.
So I've got something to trim the brass I don't have.
if
So
we
that's a start.
That's a start.
Start trimming your other brass and see if it turns into GT brass. And just keep going. Just keep trimming it until it shit, this one didn't work. Try again.
Yeah, well, given this is my first 6mm,
Yeah.
I think I'll film it. You want it to be one of your TikToks if you like, how to blow up a garage trimmer in 10 pieces of brass or less. Yeah.
Yeah, don't do that.
No, I don't. I won't do that.
wouldn't.
I won't do that.
That's terrible advice.
Yeah, I'll wait till Andy's monetized his TikTok and then I'll do it.
Yeah.
Then it'll be worthwhile.
So Travis is on the next reloading episode.
I'll hear suggestions of what to do. Good. Yeah, no, I don't have any exciting plans. I'm sorry, I haven't looked that far. But I am going to Darwin. That's coming up. Yeah, you're Darwining.
I didn't think you were.
What? Who told you that?
He's going to heckle.
Oh, I must have read the wrong
Yeah,
something.
yeah, no,
read it wrong. I must have read something wrong.
I am definitely going to Darwin. Whether or
Sweet.
not I'm able to shoot may be a question, given my current state of my back. But even if my back's a bit average, I'm still probably going to have a crack on the 22 day because I can lift to 22. It was embarrassing on the weekend where I had to get people to move guns around for me because I couldn't actually get my 223 off the bench and take it to the car. Anyway, so that's the state I'm in at the moment, which is amazing, although it is improving the last few days. But worst case scenario, I should be able to shoot the 22 and I will make sure that all our viewers and Patreons and podcast listeners and such will get the experience as though they were there, especially over Victorian people who are not allowed to leave their house, really.
Yeah.
We'll try and make you feel all very involved by filming a whole stack and doing some lives and all that sort of gear, especially if I'm unable to shoot or carry a centerfire. Unless there's some rule where Andy can just move the gun around and then I'll just pull the trigger.
We'll work out something.
That's a no. It's like, I'm not doing that. What are you talking about? Oh, man.
I'll put it down and aiming like way off.
Yeah.
Just
we'll
lay
see.
it down on its side. There you go.
Perfect. I'll make sure it's got a bipod on each edge. So, 4 bipods on it. No matter which way you put it down, I'll be able to make it work somehow. Yeah. So Darwin should be good. You going to Darwin, Travie?
No, not that. I've taken my holidays early. I was going to go to Darwin, but pulled the pin and we'll travel next year. I think
Fair enough.
Play it safe just in case.
If anyone is, we should talk about that. That's another PRC. It's Practical Rifle Challenge. Yeah. I think that's what they call it. Because the PRS is not happening for the year and the Darwin Club had the dates sort of set aside, they are doing a match, a 2-day match up there. It's a 1-day centerfire, 1-day rimfire, and there are rimfires available to borrow. In fact, I think there might be centerfires available to borrow if you cover ammo as well. Anyway, and so if you want to get away, to be honest, if you're in almost any other states apart from Victoria, it's probably a really good option to get somewhere warm and not actually get some travel done this year. Darwin is an amazing spot to go for a match. Have you boys?
No,
haven't been there.
Never
No,
shot. Oh
haven't
wow!
been there.
Oh, well, we've done podcasts from them. It's truly one of the highlights of the year. So they're going to do a match, and obviously it'll be a lot more relaxed and a lot serious, I guess. And I think it's only like $50 to shoot the match. You got to buy dinners and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, that's the way. I think it's going to be really good fun. So if you are listening and you're able to, and you can actually travel there, I would get onto it because flights are not bad at the moment.
No, there's a couple of sales on.
It's pretty, obviously they just want to put people on the planes and a bit of cash through the bank account. So you can get pretty good flights at present. So I would highly suggest this might be a year to get involved with that. I will give you the warning. Once you go to one, you don't ever want to miss another one. They are pretty good matches, and they are a fantastic environment to go away in August. So, 7th to 9th of August, that is, for anyone listening. So we hope to see you there. If you are going, hit us up. Let us know, because I guess we'll see you up there anyway, but good to know who is going up, especially if it's going to be a first one. If it's a first one, I'll make sure you get squatted with Andy.
Yeah. What's wrong with that?
What
are you trying to?
I
won't be able to help him. That's
an incentive. I thought I was pitching as an incentive because I'm like, hey, if you go, like, we'll get you to go with Andy. Otherwise, they're like, oh no, I won't go. But if you don't want to go,
my first time up there.
Okay, look, if you don't want to go with Andy, you don't have to. Let me know, and we'll make sure you're not with Andy. So they're your options. Everyone listening is coming, and they just have to let us know if they want to be in Andy's squad or not in Andy's squad. Really is the key.
Put a poll up on Facebook.
That's going to be brutal.
Fantastic. So, Butters, you may have to. I think you were planning 2 squads. Might be 3 now.
3. I'll be by myself. Yeah. Squad 1.
Oh, fantastic! All right, very good, guys. Well, let's finish it up there. Now, one of the things that we're meant to be doing is talking about how we can follow, or because everyone in the room's actually got their own various Instagrams and bits and pieces. So, Travie, you're the guest. How do we follow you, mate? How do we track you down?
Well, stalking's the best way generally from a safe distance during COVID. 1.5 meters, please. Keep it safe.
That's pretty close for a stalker, to be honest.
Yeah, that's right. I won't be paying attention anyway.
It's not very subtle.
No, I'm on Facebook and Instagram as Travie's Shooting Adventures. So it's just a just a bit of personal page to follow my adventures, see what I do, see my hits, my misses, my wins, my losers. Yeah, jump on board if you like to see what someone else is up to.
Andy, how do we follow you, mate?
Yeah, so Facebook is a little precision rifle.
Mm-hmm.
Get it?
Yep. You also shoot 6.5. It's a bit bigger than our little. Crap
And onto the Instagram. Yeah. This is meant to be a short, quick shout out.
And then Instagram's Andy Little PRS. There you go.
And I have finally started my own actual Instagram. I started that tonight. So I am impact.rusty on Instagram. That is, I've finally made the move to so all sorts of stuff.
Is that following the success of your 100% strike rate?
Going to be hard to top that.
Got an endorsement deal.
Yeah.
I officially take this moment to retire from shooting. Cheers.
Thanks for listening to the Precision Shooting Podcast. To continue the discussion, check out our Facebook page. And for more information, head to our website, www.precisionshootingpodcast.com.au. This episode was brought to you by Impact Dynamics.